Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, wake up! Welcome to the after party! Wake up, put your hands up, put them up! It's time that you make your voice heard! Wake up, put your hands up, get them up! Hell yeah! Welcome to the Still Real After Party! I'm your host, my name is Zanca, and this is my co-host. That's right, I'm all alone today, guys. I forgot. But, luckily, I hit you guys up on Instagram, and you hit me up with a bunch of questions. I'll answer some of those. Which reminds me, by the way, you can always follow me on Instagram. I basically just throw up a bunch of memes, jokes. That's about it. At StillReal2us, TOUS. Yeah, so check that shit out. So, I'm probably going to try to sprinkle in some of you guys' questions throughout this whole thing, because I am doing this by myself, and I do feel like I'm fucking talking to ghosts. I'm going a little crazy. It's really weird. I don't know if you guys have ever done a podcast alone, but it's fucking weird. So yeah, you guys just want me to jump into this elimination chamber? I feel like I'm doing a Dora the Explorer type thing, where I'm really waiting for you guys to answer me, like, is Swiper swiping? Or some weird shit like that, and there's no answer. So I'll just leave these pauses in there for you guys. You can be like, yeah, Zanca, we're ready. Jump into the elimination chamber. You got it, guys. I thought the elimination chamber was fucking boring. I mean, it's so predictable. I think that's what killed the whole pay-per-view for me. I'm sorry. I'm definitely going to get into my pizza slice reviews, which if you're new to the podcast, I rate, matches. My personal, 5-star Meltzer review thing is pizza slices. You get 1 through 8. Full pie is fucking top notch, and the closest thing for that was the opening women's chamber match. They started the show with it. I thought it crushed. I thought it was a pretty great match. If you listened last week, you know that I was nervous. Maybe I'm mansplaining or whatever, but women inside this structure, this metal structure, this grated thing, I was nervous that these ladies are going to toss each other around, and because they're going so hard to really, show that they belong and all this other, whatever you want to call it. I thought one of them was going to kill someone. I just didn't know what was going to happen. I thought Sasha was going to hurt herself. I thought all these awful things, but in the end, I was just entertained. I gave this match 7 slices. It was really good. Storytelling throughout the match was phenomenal, in my opinion. Mickie James, ring gear alone, well, that was like 3 of the 7 slices right there, because we got some under butt cheeks and under boobs, under butt cheeks, those type of things really rev my engine. So that's where you got a lot of those slices, I think. But storyline wise, they used the cage. They actually used it, unlike the men later on in the show. They were throwing each other's faces in. They were hooking each other into it. They were climbing up it. They were doing all this cool shit. I thought the storytelling throughout was great. I liked the way the match started. I liked the way it finished. Yeah, I thought Alexa was going to win. It was kind of predictable, but with the Sasha, Scar from Lion King type heel turn where she pushed Bayley off the mountain, a.k.a. top of the pod, I thought that was a shot where maybe they're going to, turn Sasha really heel and they're going to hook her up with this. And so I thought Alexa was going to win throughout the whole match until that happened. And when Sasha no-sold the, Twisted Bliss, when she Alexa jumped off the top of the pod, Sasha rolled right through and hit her with their fucking bank statement. I was like, oh, she's going to roll in the ring. This is going to be it. But no, Alexa kept it. And then her promo at the end was, I don't know, it was just a cherry on top of a pretty good match, in my opinion. She totally swerved, 75% of the fans, I'd say. A lot of people, when I, made a joke about it, they were like, oh, we saw that coming a mile away. Yeah, maybe. But again, this is like the new era where, I thought maybe she was going with the whole, women we're worth it. We can do this. But she just went full Alexa, and I fucking loved it. She's on another level, which is crazy to think when you get girls like, Sasha, you get girls like Bayley, you get girls like Charlotte, Becky Lynch, all the Naomi, all these great talents. But Alexa, for me, is the total package, because she cuts a great promo. She holds her own in the ring. You can't ask for much more. She's gorgeous. She's a great heel champ. She nails it. So before I get to so that was it. Yeah, 7 slices. The next match, How about instead I read a question from Instagram? What do you guys say? From Batwan09. Zanca, what's the meaning of life? Dude, I don't fucking know. I watch wrestling. I make jokes. I try not to, rape. I just try to, get through life. That's pretty much all you can do, man. I think the meaning of life is don't fuck up and have fun while you're here. So, one question down. On to match number 2 of the Elimination Chamber. Titus Worldwide versus The Bar. Fucking 2 slices. It was a decent match. I really like how they're pushing Apollo. The guys, for me personally, this is going to come off as a shitty thing to say, but dude smiled too much for me back in the day. I didn't think he could cut a promo, all this other, happy horse shit. I just thought he didn't look like he had a great character, but now his character warrants all that, and it fits. And I really feel like he's finally coming into his own, which is great. I think Titus is doing great work too, but obviously they're putting the spotlight on Apollo, and it's really paying off. I mean, Dana with them is also hilarious. I don't know what fucking numbers she's crunching, but she looks phenomenal. And so Apollo for me is somebody that he proved me wrong. I didn't know if he'd be able to last on the main roster, but I think he's found a gimmick that might, it's not even that much of a gimmick. It's just like, everyone's pulling for him in Titus Worldwide to become something, and he's doing it. And the guy can fucking move like it's ridiculous. He looks like he's made out of fucking boulders, and he's fucking doing 450 splashes from the floor to the apron. That didn't happen, but I don't know. I like to talk big. So yeah, the match was alright. The Bar went over. Sheamus and Cesaro, 2 guys that I'm big fans of. So it was what it was. I'm more curious as what are the Raw tag titles going to be doing at WrestleMania? I mean, you really have Titus Worldwide, The Club, Revival, Slater and Rhino. I'm going off the top of my head here. The Bar versus the Revival, are they the next in line? Or knowing, WWE Creative, it's going to be a fucking fatal 5-way with all these matches that they've been booking lately. So I'm not sure what the Raw tag titles are going to be doing at Mania, that's all. And hopefully it's something big, man, because Cesaro and Sheamus, low-key, have had a pretty gnarly title run. They've beaten everybody they've thrown their way. They've beaten Seth Rollins and whoever his partner is at the time, countless times. So 2 guys that I have a lot of respect for. I want them on the Mania card and hopefully the main card. I know it doesn't make much of a difference if it's pre-show or main, especially where Mania is going to be fucking 7 days long. So, but hopefully for them they get that good spotlight on the main card there. Next up at the Elimination Chamber was Nia versus Asuka. This is probably best storytelling match on the card for me, other than the Women's Chamber. It was just I liked Asuka going for all these submissions. I mean, she's such a different breed. Like, she's believable as somebody that could go AWOL and just kick you in the fucking head and knock you unconscious. And Nia is very believable as a dominant heel because of her size. I mean, there's no denying that. I feel like they kept Nia strong. I mean, even Asuka winning with the roll-up. I like that they utilize that now. It's like, it's a nice tactic where they don't want to really kill the other person. Like, they didn't want Nia tapping out, obviously. So I like that they go with the roll-up. I like that Nia got up and fucking bulldozed Asuka through a goddamn guardrail, doing the old Goldberg Roman thing when they need a pop. Dug that. Thought that was awesome. I like Nia getting up and just fucking hucking whatever piece of the barricade fell off fucking 20 feet. Nia's slowly in line with Apollo Crews. Am I thinking on that? Nia's somebody who I thought was going to, she just had to get a little better in the ring, which she has. She's doing her part, man. They're getting her leg drop over, which I fucking love that the leg drop is a finish again. And, yeah, I just think she's someone who's really stepped her game up. It's really fucking gnarly. Next match. Oh, you want my pizza slice rating for that, by the way? I give it 5 slices. Great storytelling. It was filling. Like Nia in her outfit. Don't say that out loud. Fucking Twitter war is gonna break out. Next match was Matt versus Bray Wyatt. Before I get into that, let me hit up another fucking Instagram question because I got some stuff to say about some Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Alright. I don't know. I'm gonna butcher people's names, by the way. So let's just go with an easy one. Zach Gorby. What are your thoughts on Roman's promo? Zach, I dug it. I thought it was the second best promo on Raw. And I'll tell you what, man, I'll get back into that one actually when I do a little Raw review after this. How about that? I'll keep that in mind. So, back to Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Match, 2 slices. It was what it was. It wasn't a great match. The start was great. I liked Matt Hardy, doing his little weird disappearing act, and then Bray doing this. Well, Bray did it first, and then appeared in the ring, and then Matt did it, and I just thought that was cool. This whole rivalry, though, feud, whatever the hell the buzzword of the day is, I just feel like a lot of people, they faltered it at points. This was like Broken Matt, in TNA was phenomenal. Woken Matt, it's tough to catch on. I feel like, Broken Matt, he had that AIDS filter over all of his, well, maybe not AIDS, it was like a herpes filter, because it didn't kill you, it was just kind of dirty. He had like that herpes filter over all of his promos, or all of his backstage segments. It was grainy, it was dark, it was dirty. The one thing I can tell you about the Woken Matt stuff is I'm like, God damn, Matt Hardy has some white fucking teeth. This HD shit is killing this character. It should be dark, dirty, gritty. Bray Wyatt is dark, dirty, and gritty. Like, this fit perfectly when Matt was broken in TNA. For some reason, I don't know what it is, they're having trouble getting this thing over because they're WWEing it. Whereas they should just let it be what it is. You did the Wyatt compound. You have Broken Matt has his universe, the Matt Hardy comp. He has all this great stuff. Let them take control. You're already doing these stupid fucking cell phone, camera promos. Let Matt do that, but let it be what he wants. I can tell you this, it'll make you more money. You can, not pay the creative team to do something for once and let them take over. Jeremy Borash, is signed to WWE now. Let him help out. Let this whole thing organically take place, whereas right now it feels very force-fed. It's 50-50 booking. Bray wins at the 25th anniversary of Raw, or whatever the fuck it was, and Woken Matt won here at the Elimination Chamber in a match that the fans could give 2 shits about. They were pissed that their beach ball got popped. It's like, you guys gotta let this get fucking dirty. Now Matt put out a tweet saying, it'll be on my terms, on my land, and all this. So hopefully that's the way they're going for Mania. Maybe some pre-shot stuff, I think. Hopefully. Maybe we can get, little dilapidated boats. I know Jeff Hardy's working on a comeback, a.k.a. Brother Nero. So hopefully that happens. I don't know. All I know is this isn't working. Bray got beat, comes back out on the next night of Raw, does his cryptic promo like nothing happened. Poor Bray, man. This guy gets 50-50 booked the whole way. The people stop caring. He has such a cool character. He has such a cool vibe, look, all this stuff. Guy cuts a hell of a promo. But it's like the bookings killed him. The creatives killed him. So hopefully, hopefully this is something that they let the actual talent take over and let them, really drive this storyline how they want to do it, because I can tell you, I don't think this is how they wanted to do it. Or I'm guessing. Everything's a guess. It's fucking pro wrestling, man. And Vince changes his mind every couple minutes, so who knows what the fuck it is. Alright, next match. Well, it wasn't a match. It was a segment. Rowdy Ronda Rousey, who follows us on Instagram, by the way, at StillRealToUs. She does. You can check it out. It's legit. Her contract signing. If I was to give this a slice review for the whole segment, I'd give it 3 slices, and 2 of those slices are going to Kurt and Triple H because they stole this segment for me. It was hilarious. Like, it's just some of their banter. I guess if I'm fantasy booking this right now, or armchair booking it, whatever you want to call it, quarterbacking it, they should have did a little bit more here, I think. Less talking for Ronda. She was overcome with emotions. Her promo was fine. You could tell she was nervous. That was kind of cool. It was like, this was her dream. This is where she wanted to be. People were killing her for that, but hey, man, it'll get better. Give her time. It was her first in-ring promo. Big whoop. The thing I didn't like, though, was obviously some more of the creative decisions. I loved Ronda judo throwing Triple H to the table. That was top notch. I didn't like Steph slapping her and then no repercussions. when Ronda threw Triple H, who, by the way, Triple H sold the fuck out of it, got up like he was an 89-year-old man with a fucking broken hip, just shit his pants, holding his back, acting like he was, seriously, and that was great. After she threw him, she should have turned around and got kicked to the stomach and then pedigreed by Stephanie McMahon. Boom. Stephanie could have laid her out. She could have walked out of the ring. The slap and then the no repercussions, it made Ronda feel a little weak in her big debut. And you're trying to get Ronda Rousey over as a babyface, whereas a lot of people like myself who watched UFC, she was a straight up fucking heel. She hated, everybody. She didn't shake hands, win or lose. She didn't like doing that shit. She just liked going there talking shit and then either breaking her, your arm or punching you in the face, or in her last 2 fights getting kicked and punched in the face. She wasn't gracious in defeat and all that shit. She plays a heel in real life. Let her play a heel on the show. I heard some people talk like, yeah, I get it. You want to bring her in as a big baby face to get that pop and everything, but I think the big money of Ronda is obviously her as a badass heel. I mean, she's legit. She's a legit UFC, star. She really got the ball rolling for the women's division, and I just feel like her heel persona is way better than this babyface persona they're putting off on her. And again, I think she's going to be fine. I don't think the match at WrestleMania that they're looking for is going to be anything too memorable, and that's not a slight to her, but she's fucking green as goose shit, man. And Stephanie, she can kind of work, I guess, if you want to call it that. She's not Charlotte. I'll give Stephanie that. Then you got, Triple H and Kurt Angle are going to have to carry this thing. Who knows where that goes? I'm cool with that, though, because Triple H and Kurt Angle, promo-wise, it's going to be hilarious. I mean, Triple H just cold-cocking fucking Kurt Angle on Raw the next night. I was dying laughing, man. I mean, that shit's funny. Kurt Angle's playing, like, his goofy self right now, which is, like, my favorite Kurt Angle. The intensity, integrity, that Kurt Angle was fun, it was cool for what it was. I was more of a fan of the kind of, excuse my language, retarded Kurt Angle, where he comes out with a little cowboy hat and wants to be friends with everybody. That shit. I think his comedy stuff is some of my favorite memories from back in the day. So, and again, this isn't comedy, but it's the way he's delivering his lines. It comes off comedic to me. I don't know why. I just feel like. Anyway, this is the Kurt Angle I like. I like that they're going this route. I like that it's him and Triple H. And I think Stephanie and Ronda are gonna. Obviously, this whole angle's built to get Ronda over because she's the new signee. They're giving her a lot of money, so I think I don't know. I think it's gonna be a crapshoot. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be hopefully Triple H Kurt Angle heavy though. All right, let's hit up some Instagram questions because we'll try to break up the Elimination Chamber reviews. I don't know about you guys, but after a while I get bored of that shit. And again, wasn't that great of a pay-per-view. No slight to any of the talent, just fucking predictable, man. So predictable. All right. Here was a fucking pretty cool question, actually. From Smark Cleaner on Instagram. I dig that. Which is more important, character or ability when it comes to professional wrestling? I think in WWE, 100% it's character. No doubt about it. You need to have the look. You need to have the style. 9 times out of 10, you need to have the promo ability. I think the character is where it's at because it's a character-based, call it for what it is, show. It's a TV show. They want characters that they can market. They want characters that they can, make T-shirts for to get, kids and grown adults like myself to buy. I think in other promotions, New Japan, it's 100% ability. And so when you have people saying, oh, WWE is not as good as New Japan, or New Japan's not as good as WWE, it's like, it's what you're into, man. Sometimes I'm into watching, funny, goofy shit. I'll turn on WWE during a, Kurt Hawkins segment because I know what I'm going to get. If I'm down to just watch great wrestling, which is kind of funny, my girl, by the way, is a way bigger New Japan mark than she is WWE mark, and it's funny to me because she's more into the wrestling, whereas I'm more into the stuff that they're marketing towards her. I'm into like the women's revolution, the characters, and all this stuff, and she's into Okada and Kenny Omega, and it's kind of cool, man. So it's really all depending on what you're into or where you're striving to get to. WWE, 100% character driven. I think anybody in the world can tell you that. companies like New Japan, Ring of Honor. Although Ring of Honor's got some great characters, they're really a wrestling show. It's really wrestling driven. You know, I think you got guys on there. You know, the Peacock himself, he's a great character. He's a good wrestler. You know, the leader of the kingdom, Matt Taven, great character, great wrestler. Then you got Cody Rhodes, obviously, or Cody, great character, great wrestler. So some of the guys over there, they have it both, but they're all, the main ingredient over there is wrestling. They all can have great matches. So it all depends on where you're heading, I think, or where you're trying to get to if you're becoming a professional wrestler. But when it comes down to it, yeah, you're going to need a good character. Work on your character. That's the thing you can work on, is, you know, developing a character. That's the one thing that it'll be easier to come by, I think. Like wrestling itself, that's something you need to really work on. I think I mixed my words up. That's something you really need to. That's like hitting the gym, man. You're not going to get fucking yoked just by, you know, hanging out. You need to hit it. You need to hit it hard. You need to work out. You need to do all that shit. Same thing with the wrestling, man. You need to hit the ropes. You need to be taking bumps every weekend or every week. You need to be doing all that stuff, and your character will eventually come to you. Now that I mumbled through that, because I'm pretty sure I screwed it up at the beginning, let's get to the men's Elimination Chamber. I'll start right off. Throughout the whole match, it had this, like, foam at the top where you just knew Roman was going to win. And again, if you listen to any podcast, I'm not a Roman hater. I like Roman. Doesn't bother me at all. But the predictability bothers me. I don't want to know. I don't. I want to be surprised. I want to get caught up in the story. Like, the whole Braun, like, first of all, the match wasn't that entertaining until Braun got in there. And then him going, like, running roughshod through the whole chamber, just eliminating everybody. If I didn't know Roman was headlining WrestleMania against Brock, it would have, like, felt so much more epic when it came down to Braun and Roman. Like, can Braun go through an entire elimination chamber, eliminating seven dude, like, whatever it was, eliminating everybody? That would have been an epic storyline. And that would have been something that, like, while watching it, I would have been like, oh man, they're booking the fuck out of Braun. They're going to make him look wicked strong. But the whole time I'm like, well, all right, they're doing this to keep Braun strong because they want Braun to be good, and Roman's just going to win anyway. And that's what happened. So, I don't know, man. Maybe that killed it for me a little bit, but there was a couple cool spots throughout the match. I mean, Rollins' frog splash off the top of the pod was pretty cool. Braun kicking... Oh, yeah, this reminds me. Braun Strowman's booked as a babyface. 100%. Through his opponents, through his actions, through the crowd pops, he's a babyface. Roman, even in this Elimination Chamber, he's booked as a heel. I get the promo he cut on Raw was a babyface promo because talking about how he cares about the fans. It was John Cena 101. But just think of this. Can you think of any major Roman spots in the Elimination Chamber? If I was to ask you right now, Dora the Explorer pause. No, see, told you, couldn't. Oh, I didn't hear you. This is fun. I feel like I'm really talking to you guys. Roman didn't go through any major adversity throughout the match. He kind of, he was off screen a lot, slept or whatever the hell you want to call it throughout some of the match, and then he won. Which is awesome if you're Edge. Which is awesome if you're heel Chris Jericho. They're trying to book this guy as their top babyface. Again, this comes down to creative decisions. Or whoever booked this match. Whoever was backstage. So, Braun kicked out of everybody's finish. Epic moment. Crowd was going nuts when he kicked out. Braun climbed the cage to get to Miz at the top of a pod like a fucking grizzly bear with a rocket up his ass. It was fucking epic. Tosses Miz off. The crowd goes nuts. Crowd booed a little bit because Braun didn't jump his big ass off the pod, but the guys below got to catch him, and he's a big motherfucker. That would kill them, man. He eliminated everybody, kicks out of the Seth Rollins epic frog splash from the top of the pod. They booked him as a face, man. And when it came to him and Roman, the crowd wanted Braun, so that's the babyface reaction. And all the things I said, they booked Roman as a heel throughout this. I don't know how they expect this guy to get over with their booking decisions. It's not going to work, guys. His promo on Raw is a step in the right direction, 100%. I think keeping Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar away from him on this Raw and letting him cut that kind of like, yeah, I see what you guys are saying on the internet. Yeah, Brock doesn't show up. That's right. Yeah, I can hit these spots. That was great because if Paul's in the ring with him and they're back and forth promos, Paul's going to come out on top. That's not a slight to Roman. 90% of the roster is going to come out on the bottom of going toe to toe with Paul Heyman with a mic in his hand. A very select few guys are going to be able to hold that down. And the promo with Roman cut was decent, man, but I think it was decent for more people that thought it was a shoot, and it wasn't. Maybe, I don't know. I thought it was the second best promo. I thought the Miz's promo was the best promo on Raw. It had passion, it had intensity, that felt real. It felt like he was shooting from the hip. But again, you expect that from the Miz, so it doesn't get as big of a reaction, I guess. It's like if your dog shits in the toilet, you're like, oh my god, that was fucking amazing. He shit in the toilet. Like, he flushed it too? That was Roman's promo. It was a dog shitting on a toilet. It's pretty cool. Miz's promo was like, Miz has built himself up so high with his promos that you expect all this. It's just like, yeah, the dog shit in the yard again. It's what he does. So, I don't know if that analogy makes sense. I'm talking off the top of my fucking head right now. Makes sense to me. And I got to say dog shit. And the visual of a dog actually shitting on a toilet and then flushing, that's fucking pretty sweet. Channing Thompson, 21, on Instagram. Not to be confused with Channing Tatum, who's in one of my favorite movies, 21 Jump Street. He asks, who do you think the best WWE wrestler of all time is? So if I'm going to go by semantics, this is WWE wrestler of all time. I can't pick. I know it's a fucking shitty answer, but it's tough to say just one person. I mean, we're going to keep WWF out, but, you had guys in WWE, we'll keep it entertainment, that you had John Cena's, you had Eddie Guerrero's, you had Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair it's just, there's so many great people. If I had to choose one person, though, that always entertaining, could cut fun promos, epic in the ring, it really depends on which day you get me. Sometimes I'll tell you it was this guy, but today for me it's Eddie Guerrero. I don't know why. I went back and watched some of his matches the other day, and I was just on a wicked Eddie Guerrero kick, and you forget just how entertaining that guy was and how funny, like, just natural charisma that guy had. And then when it came to time, the bell rang, he was, he's got to be in everybody's top 10, top 5. He's just all-around talent. It was phenomenal. So I'll say Eddie Guerrero today. Ask me tomorrow, and I might say Kurt Hawkins. You never fucking know. It was a pretty big Carlito mark, too. And Tatanka. I'm fucking all over the map with those things. So Raw happened. It wasn't bad, actually. I sat through it. It wasn't bad. I think, I think the major things that came out of it are the two things I really feel like WWE Creative is most focused on, and it's Roman and Ronda. I think those are the two things that they really are focused on right now. And you can tell by they're just kind of throwing shit at a wall with WrestleMania coming up. They're throwing Seth Rollins and Finn Balor possibly in an IC triple threat match with The Miz because they need those guys on the card. They needed to do something with them. Back in the day, man, WrestleMania used to be like the spot. Like, that's where you go to blow off your rivalry with somebody. That's where the night after the Mania, that Raw, that's when new shit began. But now it's just like, how many big names can we get into a WrestleMania for no reason at all? How many matches can Triple H and Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon, and again, I'm not against any of them. I like that, but it just feels like once those get all the focus, they're like, oh, how come we can't build new stars? Because you're still building your old stars. You have all these great talent, man. Imagine, like, Finn Balor. Imagine the Demon entrance at WrestleMania. How fucking epic that could be. Imagine just if they put some time into a storyline with the Club versus the Mid-Stourage. Just a real storyline. No goofy gimmick, no nothing else. Just a real storyline. Imagine how epic that blow-off could have been at WrestleMania. But it's just out of nowhere. You have Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, The Miz. I mean, The Miz they're booking as a babyface. It's like he had to go through Seth Rollins and Finn Balor on Raw for what? For what reason? It's like, that's a babyface thing. That's a Seth Rollins, almost trying to run the gauntlet in the ring for 65 minutes thing. You don't book your heels to do that. That's a babyface spot. And again, you have the IC championship. You have the US title. Both titles it's just gonna get thrown together right at the end, and it doesn't make sense. You have all this time to build all this shit. It's just like, I don't know. It's just that's like getting into a situation and you're a two-pump chump. You blow your load before you get to the good stuff. It's like, I don't know. You have 3 hours of television on Monday, and you're throwing together rivalries for WrestleMania last minute like this. I get it. Roman is a star. He is. I get that you have to put time behind him. I get that. But it feels like with all these creative writers, all these guys they got from Hollywood to write for their show, all this bullshit, and they're focused on 2 main storylines right now, and that's it. There's no undercard. You're going to sit through 6 hours of WrestleMania for 2 matches from the Raw brand, really? Because all the others, and the matches that they're not even getting, creatively behind are the matches that are probably going to be close to stealing the show. Seth, Finn, Miz, that's going to be a great match if that's the route they go. I just feel like the one thing that they've, dude, they booked Roman and Brock last year. They had all this time to build it, and they're just now starting to really get anything really behind it. Roman and Brock had very little interactions throughout the whole year. They could have, dropped little subtle, Easter eggs throughout the whole year, or is leading towards it. But no, it's just last minute. This last minute WrestleMania booking sucks, man. It never has the payoff that it should. And Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, whatever rivalry storyline thing they're going through, people are getting bored with it, but that's how you book it, man. I know it's been going on for a while. I get it. But like, if whatever the blow-off at WrestleMania is, it's going to be worth it. Because they built it for so long. Because it's epic. They get that long thrust in there. That's what you need, man. Just think about how epic that fucking WrestleMania package is going to be for that match or for whatever they're going to be involved in. They're going to have so much, time, so many segments to really pull from. Whereas this, pretty much any other match, it's just like, hey, how many stars can we put? All right, let's just, do the Andre the Giant Rumble. We'll throw everybody in there. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Spent all year building Braun up, and right now you have him on hold in case something happens to the Roman steroid dealer. It's like, you built this guy up all year, and you don't even know what you're going to do with him at fucking WrestleMania? Come on. Speaking of the Johnny Bravo Roman thing or whatever, how he's fucking, whatever. Who cares if he's been doing it? I don't, but, it's against policy, so they care. Why the fuck would you have that Josh Duhamel guy, or Dumel, whatever the fuck his name is, that goofy fuck? Why would you have him on your programming? There was like 3 big names that they released. That guy was one of them. I don't know who the fuck he is. Mark Wahlberg was the other one. And Roman Reigns. Are you going to have Mark Wahlberg, on fucking Raw next week just so we can bring this whole thing together? It's like, why would you draw any attention to this shit? I get that you had to promote the, Biggie Smalls Tupac murder thing. I would have kept that guy off. I would have done a different thing. It was a funny segment, don't get me wrong, but the first thing I thought of was right to, oh shit, that's one of the guys that was named in the Roman steroid case. But again, I'm fucking knee deep in this. Balls deep. So what was I talking about? Fucking, yeah, so you have all the time in the world to fucking build these rivalries. You have all the time in the world for all this stuff. And it is what it is. You got fucking Brock not even showing up to Raw? Dude, if that was Jimmy Jacobs taking a picture with Dana White, fired. Brock Lesnar does it? Yeah. You can take the night off, paid. But, yeah, so, I don't know. That was Raw. I thought the ending segment, I thought Ronda was better on the mic, which proves that she's going to keep getting better. I just thought, again, the Triple H punch to Kurt Angle's fucking mug was the funniest shit ever. Kurt Angle's selling was phenomenal. I just, I don't really have much to say about it. It was a lot of talking, and, that's how they want to run their stuff. That's how they're going to run it. SmackDown Live, 8 weeks where they've had declining ratings. That's why they moved Cena over there. They know Cena's going to give him a little bump. A little key bump. He needs to, because, I I just feel like the backstage, maybe they're thinking, I hope they stick with AJ versus Nakamura. But if you ever watch any documentaries or anything else on pro wrestling, every time the champion has low ratings, HBK would say this all the time: how are the houses? Are the houses down? Or how are the ratings? I hope this isn't a reflection backstage and AJ Styles is champion that the ratings keep dropping. Like I said earlier, I mean, backstage they blame the champ, fans we blame creative. I think we're right. Give us something to look forward to. Make AJ the fucking badass that he is. Give him more TV time. Let him do all that stuff, man. Let him cut his promos. Let him be a badass. Let him be a heel if you need to be. Heel AJ versus babyface Knock, that could work. I don't know. I guess what I'm getting at is I hope Cena doesn't win at Fastlane, because that might happen. I don't know. I think, Cena dropping The Undertaker in his promo on Raw, I think that's kind of a clear sign that's where they're going. So maybe everything I just said is null and void. I hope that's what it is, man. Cena Taker would be a dope build-up, I think. And I kind of like that. I'm interested in, is Cena going to make it to WrestleMania? Like, I like that. I like that it's not a guarantee. I like that he's trying to work his way up like the working class man that he is. I think that's pretty fucking sweet. I think Big E and the Usos, god damn, man, that segment alone, I would give 8 slices. Their promos on SmackDown, I loved it. I was in. Big E amping up, getting back at him, going fucking real gang. I like that, man. Big E's just proving, like, when he really wants to amp it up like that, he's a talent that they don't even know. There's talent there that they don't even have, like, uncovered yet. That guy could be so big. Granted, he's in one of the biggest tag teams of all time, The New Day. But I'm just saying, as a singles guy, he's phenomenal. And then you had, like, the Bludgeon Brothers come out. Fucking A, man. Usos talking about the Usos Penitentiary, and then the Bludgeon Brothers come out. All I could think of was like, oh, well, here come the prison guards to break up the prison fight. And they did. They brought their fucking goofy-looking sledgehammers, and everyone scattered. Dude, I just don't get the Bludgeon Brothers, man. Those things look, their sledgehammers or whatever, their mallets, they look so fake. It's like, that takes me out of it right away. I just don't know. I'm not sold. They're great talents. I'm not sold in the gimmick. But, hey, I'm glad they're getting work. Luke Harper's fucking phenomenal. That's a guy that could seriously be... He could be thrown in the ring with anybody and have a great match. It's somebody else, too, that's just... It's like a Big E type thing, whereas I just don't know if they know the talent that's there. Or they do, and they're just, trying to push other people, obviously. The Wink 07 on Instagram. Where do you think SmackDown has gone wrong with their presentation? I think it's creatively. You tune in for one feud, really. That's the Sami Zayn KO, Daniel Bryan versus Shane O'Mac feud. They don't really have much else going. They have the Orton, Rude, Jinder thing that just spurted up out of nowhere. I think when they're cutting promos and they have the fucking graphics, the goofy-looking shit, look like bad live memes. I think that's one spot in their presentation they've gone real wrong with. I think the reason why SmackDown was so good, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. The reason why it was so good was that storylines. They had storylines. Everybody was in a storyline. Everybody. That was when you had Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton burning down fucking houses and shit. Epic. AJ and, just being AJ. It was fucking phenomenal. I think that's where SmackDown's definitely gone wrong. I'll try to wrap this up, man. I'm just kind of babbling. Pretty much covered everything that was, worth covering. I'll wrap this up, try to go some rapid fire Instagram questions here. And, I'll try to get, as many of them in as I can. By the way, Dana White rocking the Boston Bruins sweater. I approve. All right. Deanie J Baby on Instagram. Will John Cena break Flair's record before he retires, or will they stay tied? I think Cena's going to break it. I think it's going to be a situation, though, where I don't think he's going to break it anytime soon. I think it's going to be, he's going to go to Hollywood. It could be like a Rock situation. You know how The Rock came back and won the title out of nowhere? I feel like Cena's going to break the record, and it's going to be something like that. It's going to be like WrestleMania 38 or something, 39, something down the line. I do see Cena breaking it. And say what you will about John Cena, but he's golden on the mic, and he's learned to wrestle. For people who still think he can't wrestle, the guy's fucking phenomenal in the ring. Well, I shouldn't say phenomenal. He's clunky as fuck, but he tells great stories with what he's able to do. I mean, him and AJ Styles on SmackDown was a great match. I mean, it's phenomenal. Pun intended. Adam Sheridan 050. What's your favorite championship of all time? When I was a kid, it was the Intercontinental Championship. It's just that was the title where you had the next big guy coming up. It was like the Razor Ramones, HBKs, Bret Hart. He had the Intercontinental title back then. I mean, those are guys that I gravitated towards, that I loved. I just think the IC strap was where it was at back in the day. It was, I mean, the big thing was Ultimate Warrior as IC champ going up against Hulk Hogan and becoming he didn't unify the belts, but he won both of them. That was an awesome spot. IC title back in the day was so much bigger than it is now. It was phenomenal. It's not a slight to The Miz. It's just the way it was booked. Plus, it was, less titles back then, so the IC title definitely meant more. All right. Teresa RAS. I don't know. I might have butchered your name, but I hope not. Is Kurt Hawkins ever going to win? Fuck no. And I love it. I hope this continues forever and ever, ever. I mean, that's really his gimmick. It's really all he has going right now. Go figure. Mohammed.Harb 2006. Are you a Roman fan or a Roman hater? I'm a Roman fan. I hate his push creatively, but I'm a fan. And by creatively, I mean I don't think they're getting out of him what they want. Not from him personally. I just mean from the character. Like they're not doing him justice, really. Totally not Freddie. Best Bullet Club leader. That's a tough one, man. I guess you gotta go back to, I mean, Devitt, Carl. I don't know, man. Kenny Omega's probably in-ring, performer-wise, the best, if you want to call him the leader. Or he's the leader of the elite. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I'm just a fan. I'm a fan of all of them. I love that story. I love how it's continued, and it hasn't gotten to the point of like the NWO where it's one Bullet Club. That's it. And yeah, they have a shitload of dudes in it, but it's all dudes who I think earn those rights for the most part. So, or it's guys that are gonna do big things. It's not just some Latin World Order type deal. Because that shit got so crazy. NWO, man. I remember tuning on WCW one day after not watching it for a little while. And there was like 15 different NWO factions. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Cody F. 1905. Why do you think people dislike Roman Reigns so much? It's his push. It's his character. I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, he's a good-looking dude, that's why you hate him. No. Who cares? It's literally that, sometimes people they hate knowing that he's going to win. They hate being force-fed. If we didn't have the internet, if we didn't know, the guy would be over like Hogan status right now. It's not because he's a good-looking guy people hate him. I hate that fucking argument. It's so stupid. Fucking Finn's a good-looking dude. No one, people don't really hate him. Yeah. Let me just kind of scroll. Alex Mezadai. Dream match between you and blank. What would my dream match be? Damn, dude. I'm going to throw Trish Stratus in there because I'm a fucking pig. And I'm going to roll with it. I am who I am. That's what I want to do. And you asked me, so there you go. Mr. and Mrs. Zero. Mr. _ N _ MS _ 0. ZERO. Do you think Brock Lesnar sticks around after WrestleMania for a match with Bobby Lashley? I think that right now Brock Lesnar is trying his hardest to get as much money as he can out of whichever company will pay him the most. And if it's WWE, yes. If it's UFC, no. I think obviously John Jones just, failed at getting his whole thing appealed and back, so he's got till August to reappeal, I think, for his fucking thing. August, I think, is when he can go back and try to get his thing back. I think the big fight that the UFC wants down the line, because it's John Jones. I mean, for those of you who don't follow UFC, the dude's unbelievable. Been popped for steroids, coke, fucking the dude parties. He doesn't seem like he's all there mentally. If you ever listen to him talk, and but inside the octagon, he's an unbelievable talent. He's I think they want to see him versus Brock. I mean, granted, he's gonna have to move up a weight class, and Brock got to try not to get kicked in the legs and the mouth if he wants a shot at winning that match. I think that's what they want to do. So I think if he sticks with WWE, though, like I said, if they give him much money, yeah, him and Bobby Lashley are probably gonna have him. I'm not even that big of a Bobby Lashley mark. I don't know why. I think he has that like Apollo thing where I just was never into his character. But again, he's a freak athlete. He's great in the ring. Phenomenal shape. So, Eugene Ray NAJR. As disappointing as the main event of WrestleMania is this year, do you think Brock and Roman will be able to pull off a meaningful and memorable match? Or will Brock stick to his usual shtick for these past 2 years and phone it in? I think if it just comes down to these two, they're going to beat the shit out of each other. It's going to be entertaining. Yeah, it's going to be Roman going over, so maybe it'll take some of the luster out of the match itself because people know that. But there's no doubt in my mind that these two aren't going to fucking stiffen each other left and right. So do I think the match is going to deliver? I do. I don't see it being a Goldberg-Brock situation. I see the crowd trying to hijack it, which they will. I see Roman doing the John Cena promo thing where you start off being a heel and then he gets a little bit of pop towards the end. So I see that. That's probably how it's going to go. Justine J. Elizabeth on Instagram. Who, Zanca, would you like to see return? Carlito. I'm a fucking Carlito mark. I don't know what to say. I love the dude. Love the character. You know, I could throw CM Punk in there if I want to be stereotypical. Obviously, promos are top-notch, all this other stuff. I would like to see Daniel Bryan return. I just feel like that could be where they're going. Who knows? WWE heel kid with 2 eyes. Who is the most underrated talent in the WWE that was booked perfectly in NXT? Well, since he's still under contract, I gotta go Adrian Neville, man. I thought he was booked great in NXT, and once he got to the main roster, obviously, I think it was his size that Vince didn't see. I mean, they put him on 205, obviously. And his heel persona, I mean, that came out of nowhere, and it was so great. I just feel like if you were asking me off the cuff like this, that's who I would say. I feel like Neville is someone that could have been a big star, man, on the main roster, not the 205 roster. Corporo Combat. Should the Benoit case be reopened? Fuck, dude, I don't know. Listen, man, I'm alone in a dark room doing this podcast right now. The last thing I want to talk about is Chris Benoit because I can already feel my neck getting tight and I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. So I'm going to end on that question, I believe, because now I'm spooked as fucking ghost. I'm going to get Chris Benoit out of fucking nowhere. So if I'm not back next week, just know I'm probably hanging from a fucking weight bench or some shit. I'll end on a better question. It's ITZWAMBAMBOI. Zanca, how did you start watching wrestling? I actually started, believe this or not, right out of the womb, and I don't even remember it. My dad was a wrestling fan. I guess I was in, after I was born, my dad was just holding me up in the first night watching, I think it was Saturday night's main event or something. So I can literally say I don't even know if I had my eyes open. But so I started at a young age, obviously, because my dad was into it. So I have a long run of wrestling, fandom, I guess you could say. So yeah, I just, like any other kid, some people's dads are into baseball and football. My dad was into hockey and pro wrestling, and go figure, that's what I'm into. So yeah, we'll end on that question. How about that, guys? Because I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like I said, I don't want Chris Benoit's ghost killing me. All right, plugs. As always, follow me on Instagram at StillReal2Us. I post memes. Sometimes I, give a little thought in the description. I don't know. Yeah, so do that shit. Follow us on Twitter at StillRealAP. Check out our Patreon. We got some goodies. There's a whole bunch of fun shit. Again, I am Zanca. And for my non-existent co-host today, Jake, I will say peace, love, and leg drops. Happy Rusev Day.